Go ahead and add my 2 cups of sugar. So you don't have to add quite 2 cups. It's all up to you how sweet you want it. So you might want more, you might want less. This is your ginger ale. What's up, soil brothers and soil sisters? Alright, y'all. So we have made our ginger bug, which took about 6 days because the temperature is cooling off. So now it is a little gingery sweet smell, kind of sour-ish sweet smell. But our bug is ready. So it's time to make some ginger ale. So what I have is a gallon of distilled water, because you don't want to use chlorinated water, tap water pretty much. You can use filtered water, spring water, all that good stuff. I have my organic ginger and a lemon. So I got my pot back there waiting. So what we need to start, we're gonna make what they call a wort. I kept saying, how can I remember that? When I was little, I had a wart on my finger. So we're gonna start off by making our wort, which is basically like a simple syrup. I'm gonna grate my ginger for this wort first. I have a big jar. You want to make sure you have a jar big enough to hold a gallon of liquid, because we're gonna make a gallon of soda today. So I'm gonna get a cup of ginger and I'm gonna pour half of this in my pot, which I may go ahead and pour it in my pot and get it started, and then 2 cups of sugar. So let's grade our clean ginger. I keep looking at it because this wants to grow. So I can go and lay this in some dirt, in some soil, and guess what? We'll have ginger growing. But I got some out there in the pot, actually in 2 pots. So I did wash and clean this ginger real good. I'm gonna keep the skin on and I'm just gonna grate it. You can chop it or however you choose to do it. I'm just gonna grate it because I got it out. If you've never tasted ginger, now is the time to lick it or take a bite. It's very spicy, but very good for you. All of that. It's pretty simple and simple ingredients, so that's what you want. So this is the real ginger ale. So the ingredients should be very simple. So I got about half a cup there. I'm gonna chop that up because I want this too. I don't want to waste anything, so I'll chop this up and then grate some more till we get to cup. And I just rough chopped it. But you can choose to do the entire. See, I just chopped it up. Now I have about a cup of ginger. So let's move over to the stove. Alright, so here I have my cup of ginger. And I'm gonna wash this out with my water. I'm gonna put half of my gallon in here. So, and I'm only doing this because I want to wash this thing out. So, I want to get all of my ginger out. Alright, so let's bring this to a boil. Alright, y'all, as you can see, we are boiling, so I'm going to go ahead and cut it off, but I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes. Of course, steam up my phone. But I'm going to let it sit for about 10 minutes so it can extract as much of the ginger as it can. So give it about 10 minutes and then we'll come back. Alright, y'all, so it's been sitting about 10 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and add my 2 cups of sugar. So you don't have to add quite 2 cups. It's all up to you how sweet you want it. So you might want more, you might want less. This is your ginger ale. So I'm going to add about 2 cups of sugar. Stir it up good. And now it's just sitting, after I brought it to a boil, I just cut it off and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And I also have a lemon. I just cut in half. Look at that. So I just cut this lemon in half. Now you can use no lemon, you can use lime or whatever. I'm using lemon. You only need about 2 tablespoons. In my mind, you can't go wrong with lemon juice. So I'm putting fresh lemon juice in here, and you know, the more lemon you use, it's going to be more like a lemon ginger ale. We don't mind the lemon. So I'm squeezing this thing good. Alright. So I know I got at least 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. Now, you have to wait until your wort comes down to, you want it to be room temperature, because if you put your bug in now, it's gonna kill a bug, and it ain't gonna be no good, because once you kill a bug, it's done. So I'm making a gallon. Remember, I only started with a half a gallon. So you can put this in the ice bath. You can just set your pot in the ice bath to help cool it off. I'm going to add the other half of my gallon to this, because again, we are making a gallon. So now I have my entire gallon here, which will help cool it off faster. And it's not so concentrated now. So I'm gonna let this sit a little while longer though, because it do need to cool some more. I want it to be like super cool before I even mess with add my bug. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna take it off here and let's move over to the other cow. Alright, so to help it some, I got all of my jars in the way, right? My jars. So I have a pitcher, just an empty pitcher and a strainer. Because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pour my mixture inside, or my wort is what they call it. I'm gonna pour it inside my pitcher, so that way it'll cool off easier and faster. I want all of my goodies because I want to strain them out or press it out some to make sure I get all of the ginger out of my ginger. Then I'll give it to the chickens. So I'm just pressing it to make sure I get all of the liquid out. So all of my ginger is here. And this smells so good. This is just my wort. I'm not going to add my bug yet. My bug is here and ready. But I'm not ready to add it yet because I still want this to cool off some. So let's talk about why this cool for a second. Vessels. I am starting with, I'm going to use these jars because I don't have big jars like my kombucha is taking over everything. So I'm going to use these, I think these are 32 ounce jars. So I'll fill 2 of these up and this because we want to be able to watch it right over the next 2 to 3, maybe 4 or 5 days. It is getting cooler outside. So once we add our bug to it, we'll pour it in these 3 vessels. They are clean and ready to go. And then we'll set it aside. Now, I'm telling you this ahead of time while we wait for this to cool off because you need to have all these things readily available once you cool off your wort. So I'll pour my wort in here and it'll go through a few day process of fermenting and doing its thing. So we're gonna let it cool off and then we'll come back and fill up our jar. So I was just trying to explain why I had so many different kind of jars because I do want to see it over the next few days. This way I know this one is doing this, these 2 should be doing the same thing. They just not as easy to see because they amber jars. So if you have just a big jar, that's what I will use. So we'll come back after it cool and add our bug to our wort and get this ginger going. All right, fam. So our wort is cool, and it's cool enough to go ahead and bottle for fermentation. So I'm gonna go ahead and pour some in this bottle first. Let me. Make sure I mix it up and get all that good stuff at the bottom mixed up in here. Y'all, this smells so good. Okay. All right, fam. So now we have our wort cool enough. Slide my bottles to the side because now I have my bug. And I need 1 cup of ginger bug. I'm gonna use this strainer. So I only need 1 cup of ginger bug. Now I want to pour my ginger off here. I just want to catch the small particles that might try to seep through. Okay, so I got 1 cup of ginger bug, which is a living organism. So you don't want to put it in your wort while it's hot, because if it's too hot, it's just going to kill. If your wort is too hot, it's going to kill your bug. So ours is perfect right now. Alright, your wort, it should be stored in your refrigerator. When it's in the refrigerator, you only have to feed it once a week. That's 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 tablespoon of ginger. So I'll set that in the refrigerator shortly. So now we are ready to pour in our fermenting vessels. So I'm only going to go to about there with that one. And this one we'll be able to see what's going on. Over the next few days. Same with this one. I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I want to give it space to do what it needs to do. My husband was supposed to have been using these jars for something else, but they coming in handy for me. Put a little bit more in here. All right, so there we have our gallon in a jar. Now, let me say this for the people in the back. I know I have them in jugs that have these kind of tops. I'm not screwing this top on. You do not want this thing pressurized at all while it's fermenting. So I'm just setting the top on. That's it. Do not screw your top on. This one, I'm gonna put a rag over, because I don't even trust the cannon top to just set on top of here. Even if I don't screw the lid in, I'm just gonna put this towel on the top just to be safe. Do not, or it will build up pressure and explode, and it'll just bust this little top off here, and we do not want that mess. We ain't about that life. So I'm just setting the top on so nothing can get in, but it need to be able to breathe. So I'm gonna set it up here. Now, after 3 or 4 days of sitting up here on the counter, we'll check it every so many days, see what it's doing, and make sure it is not, this top isn't tight. You know, and the top, like I said, is just to make sure nothing get inside it. Do not, I can't stress that, do not lock that lid down on top of there. You can just put a rag or something on there if you want to. I just set the lids on the top. I'm gonna set it to the side so that we can watch it, because I want to watch it. So I'm gonna leave it right here through this process, and we can watch it and see what it's doing over the next 3 days. Now it is 3 to 4 days. It is cooler here in the mornings and in the evenings, so it may take a day or 2 more, but we'll watch it and see. And then we'll move on to the next step. So for the next step, just so you can be prepared, we have these bottles. I don't know, I think they like 10 or 12 ounce bottles. They like little soda bottles, but this is safe. Once we bottle this up after the next 4 or 5 days, we'll be able to put it in this bottle and close it, but we can lock it down. And then it's safe. The pressure won't bust this open. So If you don't have these bottles, you want to make sure you have some type of bottle to be able to bottle up your ginger ale once it's finished with this stage. So you got 3-4 days to make sure you have some bottles, some pressure safe bottles, and you want a soda bottle or a water bottle. But that's for the next step. I'm just preparing you for the next step. You want a soda or a water bottle, something you can squeeze, and something that's safe for that pressure, because it's going to carbonate and create that pressure. So we'll watch this. We'll come back tomorrow and check it and see what it looked like.